Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. I hope everyone is having a wonderful day. Before starting the video, please go ahead and hit the subscribe button and give this video a like up. It looks like it's one down, one to go this week on Young and Restless. Even with Jordan down for the count, I&R still poses a substantial threat, which plays out in the preview below. Claire, Nikki, and Victoria banded together to end things with Jordan once and for all and lure her into a trap. At the same time, Nick and Chance teamed up to locate Sharon and find out who I&R is in cahoots with, and they were able to connect him to none other than Jordan. Claire met with Jordan and duped her into believing she was plotting Victoria's murder for the inheritance, and she lured her twist and aunt back to the tack house with her. After all the new ones confronted her and Nick revealed Sharon was safe, Jordan realized she had nothing to bargain with. That's when she grabbed a cup of poison tea Claire had tried to serve her earlier and gulped it down with her words. Jordan condemned Claire. Coming up, Victoria tells her father Jordan's gone. Isn't that all anyone needs to know? Victor bellows, trust me, this ain't over. Victoria has no idea how much messier things are about to get. Previously, the wicked I&R met with Tessa and used his coolish mind game tactics on her, claiming he had changed and needed absolution for the things he had done, especially against Maria. And even though Maria assured her wife that I&R was conning her, Tessa couldn't help but wonder if I&R may have changed. Tessa should have trusted Maria. No sooner does the family get Sharon back than two more of them vanish. Nick asks Maria, are you sure Tessa and Aria are missing? Maria says, they weren't upstairs when I got home, and I can't find them anywhere. Tessa isn't answering her phone. The promo ends at the ranch house where I&R holds a gun on Victor, Michael, and Nick and hollers, Nikki, it's I&R, come on down. I don't want you to miss a moment of what's going to happen to your family. He laughs. Victor, however, seems relatively calm, which can only mean he has something planned for I&R. The question hung in the air, an unspoken challenge that I&R himself couldn't answer. He sat alone in the dimly lit room, the low hum of the buzzing fluorescent light above his head only adding to the oppressive silence. His face was drawn, lined with the kind of exhaustion that only guilt or fear could carve into a person. This was the moment where everything hinged. His fate could go one of two ways. I&R wasn't always the man people whispered about. Once upon a time, he was simply I&R. Callister, a bright, ambitious young man with a knack for solving puzzles. His intellect made him a rising star in the tech world, a programmer who could untangle even the most complicated algorithms. He had a good job, a small but close-knit circle of friends, and a girlfriend who adored his quirks and his dreams. But brilliance, like fire, can be both illuminating and destructive. For I&R, it was the latter. It started innocently enough, a favor for a friend cracking the company's database to expose corruption. It wasn't sanctioned, of course, but I&R justified it to himself. He was doing the right thing, wasn't he? After all, wasn't it worth breaking a few rules to expose a company exploiting its employees? The lines blurred after that one righteous hack led to another, and soon I&R found himself immersed in a shadowy world of digital mercenaries. His work wasn't always noble anymore. Sometimes it was simply about the money, or worse, the thrill. He told himself he was still the same I&R, but the truth was harder to swallow. The deeper he went, the more the I&R he once was seemed like a stranger. The job that would change everything came from a faceless client who called themselves Oz. The offer was lucrative, enough money to disappear forever and start fresh, but the stakes were high. This wanted a hack into a government database to extract sensitive information. On hesitated. This wasn't just a company or a private entity. This was the federal government. The consequences of getting caught weren't a slap on the wrist. They were a life sentence. But I&R was cornered. He owed too many favors to too many dangerous people. Walking away wasn't an option. He completed the job, his fingers flying over the keyboard with a speed and precision that would have been awe-inspiring if it weren't so criminal. But something went wrong. This had set him up instead of a clean extraction. I&R's hack triggered alarms across multiple agencies. Within minutes, his safe haven of anonymity crumbled. One version of I&R's fate plays out with a finality that is chillingly quiet. When he realized Erebus had double-crossed him, he didn't wait for the authorities to catch him. He fled, a bag of essentials slung over his shoulder and adrenaline Pumping through his veins, he knew he couldn't outrun the government, not forever. For months, Ian lived off the grid. He changed his appearance, adopted fake identities, and stayed one step ahead of the law, but paranoia ate away at him. Every shadow became a potential threat. Every knock on the door was a harbinger of doom. It was during one of these moments of desperation that Ian made a fatal mistake. He reached out to an old friend for help, someone he thought he could trust, but the friend, under pressure from the authorities, betrayed and cornered in a rundown motel. Ian faced a choice: surrender or fight back. He chose neither. Instead, he turned the weapon he carried for protection on himself and his mind. It was better to go out on his own terms than to spend the rest of his life in a cell. The world would remember Ian as a cautionary tale, a man of great potential who burned too brightly and too recklessly. In another version, Ian's story doesn't end in death, but in a lifetime of reflection. When the authorities finally caught up to him, Ian didn't exist. He was tired of running, tired of hiding, and tired of the person he had become. He confessed everything, sparing no detail. In a way, it was a relief. For the first time in years, he wasn't lying to himself or to anyone else. The trial was swift. The evidence against him was overwhelming, and Ian didn't bother to fight it. The judge's words were heavy: 25 years to life prison was a world Ian could never have imagined. It was harsh, unforgiving, and endlessly monotonous, but was also a place of transformation. Without the distractions of the outside world, Ian had nothing but time to confront his choices. He started teaching other inmates about coding and technology, using his skills to give them a chance at a better life. Once they were released, slowly, he earned respect, not as a hacker or a criminal, but as a teacher. And years later, Ian's name resurfaced in the tech world, not as a cautionary tale, but as a symbol of redemption. His story became a reminder that even the most broken people could find a way to rebuild. The beauty of Ian's story is that it leaves room for interpretation. Perhaps his fate depends on how we as readers view justice, redemption, and the weight of our choices. Does Ian's death serve as a powerful, tragic end, a reminder of how easily ambition can lead to destruction, or does his imprisonment offer a glimmer of hope, showing that even the most flawed individuals can change for the better? In the end, Ian's story isn't just about him, it's about us, our values, our beliefs, and our willingness to believe in second chances. And maybe that's the real ending: not death, not prison, but a question that lingers unanswered, inviting us to decide for ourselves.